Lewis Hamilton didn't just sign for Ferrari, he may have forced the team to rethink its entire future. And the most important part isn't a lap time, a podium, or even a race win. It's a shift happening behind closed doors that could redefine how Ferrari builds Formula One cars for years to come. Most fans are watching the results. The real story is unfolding inside the factory. Ever since Hamilton's blockbuster move became official, every Ferrari weekend has been examined under a microscope. Every radio message, every setup change, and every interview has sparked debate. Expectations were enormous. Some believed Hamilton would instantly transform Ferrari into title contenders. Others argued that adapting to a completely different car after more than a decade with Mercedes would take time. The truth has been somewhere in between, and that's exactly why this story matters. What many people missed is that Hamilton never joined Ferrari expecting the car to magically suit his driving style. Instead, he arrived with one of the deepest technical understandings of any driver on the grid. Throughout his career, engineers have repeatedly praised the quality of his feedback. He doesn't simply say the car feels good or bad. He explains where grip disappears, how the balance changes through each phase of a corner, and how tire behavior evolves over a race distance. That level of detail gives engineers something incredibly valuable: direction. But that wasn't the biggest surprise. Ferrari already had one of the fastest qualifying cars on the grid. The real challenge was consistency. Some weekends, the car looked capable of fighting at the front. On others, it struggled with tire degradation, unpredictable balance, or changing track conditions. Those swings suggested that the car wasn't operating inside a wide performance window. It could be brilliant, but only when everything aligned perfectly. Hamilton immediately focused on that problem. Instead of chasing ultimate peak performance, reports and team comments suggested he repeatedly emphasized predictability. A driver can only extract maximum pace if the car responds the same way every lap. If the rear suddenly loses grip under braking, or the front refuses to rotate in slower corners, confidence disappears. And confidence is worth tenths of a second in modern Formula One. That's where things became even more interesting. Modern Formula One cars generate enormous downforce from the floor. Ride height, airflow underneath the car, and suspension movement all influence performance. Even tiny setup changes can completely alter how stable a car feels through high-speed corners. Ferrari's engineers had already made progress in understanding this generation of ground-effect cars, but Hamilton's experience with different design philosophies offered an entirely new reference point. At Mercedes, he spent years helping develop cars through both dominant championship seasons and difficult rebuilding campaigns. He experienced what worked, what failed, and how small aerodynamic changes affected driver confidence. That knowledge cannot simply be copied from another team, but the lessons behind it can influence future development. However, Ferrari wasn't telling the full story. The biggest gains in Formula One rarely come from one spectacular upgrade. They come from hundreds of tiny decisions pointing in the same direction. Engineers adjust suspension geometry. They revise cooling layouts. They reshape aerodynamic surfaces by millimeters. They refine brake balance maps, differential settings, and energy deployment strategies. Individually, those changes seem insignificant. Together, they create a faster racing car. Hamilton's arrival appears to have accelerated exactly that process. His feedback has reportedly encouraged Ferrari to look beyond raw downforce numbers and focus more heavily on drivability. That means producing a car drivers can trust through every phase of a lap, rather than one that only delivers peak performance in ideal conditions. Then something unexpected happened. Observers began noticing subtle differences in Ferrari's approach during race weekends. Setup experimentation became more deliberate. Long-run performance received greater attention. Engineers appeared increasingly willing to sacrifice a fraction of qualifying speed if it improved race pace and tire management. That shift might sound minor, but championships are usually won on Sundays, not Saturdays. Tire behavior has become one of Formula One's greatest performance differentiators. Every compound has an ideal operating window. Push too hard, and temperatures rise beyond the optimum range, causing grip to disappear. Drive too cautiously, and the tires never fully activate. Finding that balance requires precise communication between driver and engineers. Hamilton has built his reputation on exactly that skill. Throughout his career, he has repeatedly extended tire life while maintaining competitive pace. That ability gives strategists more flexibility. Longer first stints can unlock undercuts, overcuts, or completely different race strategies. Even when outright speed is similar between rivals, better tire management often decides the final result. But strategy alone isn't enough. Simulator development has become one of the hidden battlegrounds in Formula One. Drivers spend countless hours helping engineers evaluate new components before they ever reach a racetrack. The simulator isn't perfect, but every accurate piece of feedback improves correlation between virtual testing and real-world performance. Hamilton's experience across multiple generations of championship-winning cars gives Ferrari another valuable perspective during those development sessions. Every simulator run helps answer an important question. Does this upgrade actually make the car easier to drive, or does it simply look faster in computer data? That distinction matters more than ever under Formula One's cost cap. Teams no longer have unlimited resources to chase every development idea. Every upgrade package represents a major investment. Choosing the wrong direction can waste months of progress. And that's why Hamilton's influence extends far beyond driving. Ferrari isn't just evaluating lap times, they're evaluating development philosophy. Charles Leclerc remains one of the fastest single-lap drivers in Formula One, and his raw speed has never been questioned. Instead of creating conflict, Hamilton's arrival gives Ferrari two completely different perspectives on the same machine. When both drivers identify similar weaknesses, engineers gain confidence they're solving the right problems. When their feedback differs, it reveals where driving style influences performance. That combination could become Ferrari's greatest strength. Meanwhile, rivals aren't standing still. Red Bull continues searching for every aerodynamic advantage despite fierce competition. Mercedes is rebuilding around a new era. McLaren has shown how quickly a team can transform with the right development path. Every race now feels like part of a larger engineering battle rather than a simple fight between drivers. And that's exactly why Ferrari's internal evolution matters. The goal isn't just winning the next Grand Prix, it's creating a technical foundation capable of fighting for championships over multiple seasons. In Formula One, today's design choices shape tomorrow's success. A change in philosophy now could influence every future Ferrari project. Will Hamilton single-handedly transform Ferrari overnight? Of course not. Formula One has never worked that way. Success comes from thousands of people solving thousands of problems together. But history shows that truly great champions leave behind more than trophies. They leave knowledge, they raise standards, they change the questions engineers ask before they ever build the next car. If that's already happening inside Ferrari, then Lewis Hamilton's greatest victory in red may not be his first race win. It could be the moment he quietly changed the direction of one of Formula One's most iconic teams, and the full impact of that decision may only become clear when the next championship fight begins.